Hello everyone, it's Patricia from tarantulaheaven.com, and I have a really wonderful update about my spiders. If you are new to the channel, welcome. This is where I talk about my tarantulas. I have a Grammostola rosea and an Arizona blonde. The Arizona blonde is a baby and the G rosea is an old girl. So if you are not new to the channel, you know that I often talk about how my tarantulas do not eat a lot. One, because Spidey is older, and that's also pretty normal for her species. And I've also heard that it's not entirely rare for the Arizona blondes to do that too. So I had recently made a video about how Blinky doesn't grow and that they haven't eaten in a really long time, and I rarely see them. And I can't figure out what's going on with them because while they don't look dehydrated and their abdomen's always really big, they're not growing. They're not really above the surface very often. And I'm not seeing much signs of life. Maybe once a month they'll come out, and then that's really all I know. But yesterday, Blinky was above ground and they were looking a little bit less plump than usual in the abdomen. And so I got concerned. I decided to do some investigating, and I noticed that the back of their abdomen was very dark. I haven't seen it that dark in a while. And that's where like the hairs are. But it also, Blinky looked a lot smaller because their little peach fuzz was missing from that area. And so I was like, oh no, like they're going to molt soon, which would be great because hopefully they're going to grow, but it wouldn't be great because I know for a fact that Blinky hasn't eaten in a while, and they hadn't been coming above ground very often. So I was thinking this spider must be absolutely starving. I need to make sure that I try to feed it if it wants to eat. And so I did. I unfortunately didn't have a baby cockroach that was like the real size that Blinky needed, but I was able to choose a little dubia cockroach from my colony that was pretty small. It was something that I knew that Blinky would be able to handle. And it was a very soft cockroach, so I knew that Blinky's little fangs wouldn't have any trouble with it. So what you're going to see is me dropping a baby cockroach into the tank, and you're going to see Blinky attack right away and actually put up a pretty decent fight. This cockroach was very elusive and really didn't want to go down. And it was just very relieving because Blinky just looked so small in that moment because of the hairs not being on their abdomen the way they usually are. And, I was going to take the prey right out if Blinky decided they didn't want to eat and that they were actually in pre-molt, but it turned out that Blinky decided that it's springtime. I'm going to molt soon, but I still have the energy to eat. And so they took that roach down, and it was just really amazing to watch. One thing that I will say, the difference between Blinky and my Spidey, my elderly G rosea, is that Blinky has a lot more of that like stereotypical tarantula feeding response. Spidey tends to be very chill with her attacks. She's very much like a little lady. And I mean, every now and then, like after a molt, she'll get like pretty hungry and she'll kind of go into like attack mode, but usually she's very gentle. And so Blinky ate. That was awesome. At least I know that if they molt, they're at least going to have the energy to do so. I'm going to try maybe to feed them next week if they're above ground to see if they're going to eat again. I was a little bit concerned during this feeding because the roach was kind of putting up a fight. And so I was just watching for a few minutes to make sure that Blinky was going to succeed and that the roach was going to become paralyzed, because then I was thinking about like I should intervene and perhaps partially injure the roach so that Blinky could have an easier time. And as much as I didn't want to do that, that would be something I would do for Blinky. I think we would all do things that we don't really like or want to do for our spiders. And so Blinky's doing well. They ate their roach. This morning I checked out, I saw the roach carcass, and part of me was like, oh my gosh, they decided not to eat it. But they did, like the whole inside of the roach was gone. It seemed like they just left a little bit of the shell. It was probably a little bit too big for them, but Blinky ate, and I was so happy. And then my night got even better because I was like, oh, well, if Blinky is out and about, maybe Spidey's ready to eat too. Spidey's been eating more regularly than Blinky, which is very odd for Spidey, but like I said, it's springtime and the tarantulas are kind of done with their winter hibernation. They usually get a little bit more active, and so they feel like eating. Both of them felt like eating last night. So Spidey also got a very nice meal. She's getting the big cockroaches. So I hope you enjoy the feeding videos. I usually don't have a lot of feeding videos on this channel. One, because I think there are certainly enough feeding videos on tarantula channels, and it's personally not my favorite thing about owning tarantulas. I really care more about the learning and observation part of it. But I do think that when my spiders eat in particular, it's very special, and I love watching them, and I love sharing it. So I hope you like the videos. Hopefully it won't be this long until Blinky eats again or Spidey eats again. I'm hoping that as we go into spring and summer, they're going to be a little bit more active, and that'll provide a lot of really great footage, hopefully. So enjoy, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.